If you've seen what is both the best and the worst video on this channel at the same time, you know that it's not rocket science, you reach back.
It's not rocket science!
You reach back.
That's what we're talking about in this video, the reach back. But before we get started, here's a couple of notes. First, I can already hear you typing up a mean comment about my mustache. And I'm gonna tell you that I know it looks bad. It's not in its final state right now. Just give it some time. I didn't like it at first either, but then it grew on me. The second is that there's not gonna be a lot of B-roll in this video. I'm always cold and I don't have a lot of natural insulation, so I try to stay inside and stay as warm as possible at all times.
You're such a wimp. I play disc golf in absolute zero. All you need is layers, man.
Okay, yes, but I'm also not going outside. And third, I've actually been streaming on Twitch. I'll link it in the description. Mainly I play Fortnite, but I'm trying to do some other things. For example, I'm actually gonna stream editing this video. So if you ever wanna get a hold of me to ask a question or something like that, I'd be happy to take care of that over on the stream. But with that being said, let's start talking about reach back. There are 5 parts to a good reach back. A good reach back is low, wide, committed, well-timed, and something else. A good reach back is low, wide, committed, straight back, and timed well. Let's tackle each of those one at a time. The correct height for a reach back varies based on what shot you're throwing, but you always want the disc to start below your collarbones. So if you're throwing more of a high hyzer, a high anhyzer type shot, you could reach down by your waist. If you're throwing down a hill, maybe almost reach that collarbone height, but you never want to go above your collarbones. That's because if you reach above your collarbones, you're going to dip the disc as you pull it, and that's going to cause a nose up release. This is downright epidemic. Just about everybody has done this at some point in their disc golf career, and it robs you of distance and it sends that disc nose up. It's terrible. Keep your reach back low. Part of the issue with this is that it makes you feel like you threw really hard because you can come down onto the disc and it feels like you absolutely smashed it, but you didn't because number 1, you're probably muscling, and number 2, the disc is nose up. So how do you fix it? Step 1 is to keep your weight over your toes. That's gonna keep you a little bit more balanced, and it's gonna help you not to rock back over your heels and raise that disc up. A high reach back can also come from a mistimed reach back, but I'll tackle that in just a minute. Part 2 to a good reach back is a wide reach back. From the peak of the reach back, the whole disc should be able to see the target, so it can go straight forward from that peak without having to curve around your body. For years, I threw with what I thought was a straight reach back, and I was reaching straight back from me. The disc can't go straight forward from here, it has to curve around my body. So why is this bad? A lot of the power in the disc golf throw comes from this shoulder angle staying at 90 degrees or bigger throughout the entire pull. And if you reach back left of where the disc should be, you're already setting up this angle at less than 90 degrees. And that is going to always rob you of power because you're not going to be able to get your elbow as bent, and that's taking the main lever that's supposed to be throwing the disc out of the equation. So how do you work on this? My favorite way to work on this is just to freeze in my reach back. I'll do it a lot just in my apartment, or if I have a mirror nearby, or the wall drill is also really good for this. So you can see where the disc is and if it can go straight forward. This is a great reason to film yourself from behind, so you can see if the disc has to deviate in its path at all from the reach back to the release. The third part to a good reach back is a committed reach back. Now this is generally for full power drives, not necessarily for upshots, but you have to commit to taking your eyes off the target and turning your shoulders all the way away from the direction you're throwing. If your shoulders are turned all the way away from the target and you reach the disc straight back, you commit to reaching the disc back. That sets up your shoulders at this 90-degree angle, and you can maintain that throughout the entire throw and gain a lot of power. Now I sometimes use this while teaching, but I like to think of the reach back like building a drag strip. The longer you reach back, the more time you have to build power towards the end, and the faster the disc will release. Just like the end speed of a car going on a half-mile drag strip is going to be a lot faster than the same car on a quarter-mile drag strip. Now I don't necessarily like that analogy because it implies going full power from the peak of the reach back, which isn't exactly how it works. You generally want to build speed as you go and apply power more once the disc is in front of your chest towards the release. And third is timing. Lots of people have asked me, what is the prescribed sequence of events? When do all of these muscles need to fire throughout the throw to have perfect form, right? When do I need to train my muscles to fire? And that's not gonna work if you think about it like that. because everything sort of happens at the same time. It's just at different speeds. So if you set the start point at the right time, everything else will sort of fall into place. So to do that, you have to time your reach back correctly. Correct timing for a reach back is so it peaks when your front foot touches the ground. Now, admittedly, right now, my reach back is a little bit early, but I've been working on that. Here's what having a correctly timed reach back does. It helps you to stay balanced so you can shift into your weight shift, because your arm moving backwards is going to offset your leg moving forwards at that last step. And if they both reach their endpoints at the same time, everything sort of springs together and you can launch the disc a lot easier. So what happens if a reach back is off? Most often it's going to be timed early. So what happens is a lot of people will learn how to reach back in their X step, and then they'll try and hold the disc at that position on that angle and then throw as they take their last step. If you reach back early, the disc is probably going to move. The first place a disc moves is across your body. As you reach back and then you have to take that last step, the disc will move to the left, and that will set up that less than 90 degrees angle, and that will create rounding as you throw. The second place a disc can move is up. This is again the height problem with the reach back. If you reach back early as you take that last step, the disc can leak up, and that's going to cause that dipped pull and that nose up release. And the third place a disc can move is not move at all. If you reach back early, it's really easy to start the throw by turning your shoulders rather than everything happening at the same time, and that's going to start the disc behind your shoulders, and you're going to end up rounding. If you reach back correctly, your disc is peaking right as your front foot touches the ground, and then everything goes forward from there. And your shoulders don't really have a chance to get in front of the disc because the disc never stays back there. It goes back and straight forward just like a yo-yo. And that is going to be the best way to keep everything timed well. So that's all for this video. I have to go because the heater just turned on and I don't want to shut it off because I'm cold. Be sure you check out my Twitch and my Facebook or my YouTube, depending on where you're watching this. And always remember, slow is smooth and smooth is far.